Hare Krishna, welcome all the devotees for Shubha Mangalarati. I thank all the Japa leads for nicely taking the lead of Japa. Today we are going to have a very important session, that is chanting the holy name of the Lord and also hearing it very attentively. That is today's agenda, and it will go for 30 to 40 minutes. So I would request all of you to kindly put a pause for your chanting and give your attention for the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. That is what the purpose we have joined. So your attentive hearing and observation on this presentation will really help your chanting very wonderful. And the resulting is you will be very, very happy. So I request all the co-hosts kindly take care of the mutes and unmutes. Hope you can able to see the PPT.
Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Namaham Vishnupadaya, Krishna Pestai Bodhara Srimati Jaipataka Swaminiti Namane, Namo Acharya Padai Nithai Kupapadaine, Gaur Katadamadaya, Nagara Gramatarane, Namaham Vishnupadaya, Krishna Pestai Bodhara Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namane, Namaste Saraswati Devi, Gauravani Pracharane, Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Pachatya Desatarane, Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So, this how to chant the holy name of the Lord, how to hear it very attentively. It's actually a great science, and we do not, if we do not give any preference or priority in hearing, then whole our effort will go in waste. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he gave a lot of information about inattentive chanting. He also highlighted that inattentive chanting is the mother of all offenses. And ninth offense while chanting the holy name also it is there, being inattentive while chanting the holy name. Like if you can see in the picture, there are many devotees, they while watching TV, they chant the holy name of the Lord while reading and while conversating with others. And also the greatest impediment in this 2024 is the mobile phone and the 4G, 5G, and the new technologies. And it will distract our chanting like anything, unless otherwise we are away from these gadgets. So how is that inattentive chanting and will hamper our prema bhakti towards Krishna? Is number one, what is the main impediment blocking one from developing attachment for chanting? Means if one gives up all the offenses in chanting, see, there are 10 offenses in chanting the holy name of the Lord. You all know it very well. By not doing those offenses, but we remain inattentive, that person can never develop attachment for chanting. From Sajan Toshini 11.1. So then what is the how to overcome of that? So there are a lot of tools and tips and solutions have already been given by the acharyas. Let us scroll through what are those tips and how we can utilize in our life also. So the point to understand here is, even though we can give up all the 10 offenses in chanting the holy name of the Lord, but still if we are inattentive in hearing and chanting the holy name, then we will not get Namaruchi. When Namaruchi is not there, it is just like, we have prepared a wonderful pie, some kheer, but there is no sweetness. Then just for looking sake only, it is a kheer paisam, but when you eat, it does not have any taste. Similarly, inattentive chanting also will make us feel so. So number two is, what are the various definitions of inattention while chanting? This from Harinam Chintamani. O Lord, All anarthas are produced when we do not pay attention to our chanting. The exalted devotees have defined inattention as indifference, laziness, and restlessness. So, senior Vaishnavas and other devotees of the Lord, they did a research also, and they found that inattentive chanting will cause all the distractions. Mainly the indifference, the laziness, and restlessness. These are the definitions for inattentive chanting. So let us also understand step by step. Then what is the symptom of restlessness chanter means those who are afflicted with restlessness try to finish their prescribed rounds as soon as possible. So actually, chanting only for the sake of chanting is not the quality of the chanting. So one should be extremely careful not to commit such an offense while chanting. This from Harinam Chintamani. The point to understand here, if your prescribed rounds are 4, so you have a goal or you wanted to finish it and quickly you chant 4 rounds and rest of the day you never pick up your japa back. Then that is not the proper way of attitude of a good chanter. A good chanter, not only his prescribed rounds, he should chant each and every round very attentively, not only prescribed one and all the extra rounds also. So Nama Japa is Nama Japa only. Either it is a prescribed round or extra rounds, does not matter. So only for the sake of chanting, we are not supposed to finish our rounds. That will not give any progress in our Krishna consciousness. So how can laziness be destroyed? The characteristics of a saintly person is that he does not waste time. That means every second he utilizes in the service of the Lord. By seeing such character in another, one will certainly hanker after it. It is just like seeing a good quality, observing divine quality in others, and we will also desire for that quality will help us progress in our Krishna consciousness, especially chanting. So one will think, alas, when will I become fortunate enough to chant, sing, and remember the holy names of the Lord like this saintly person? Such enthusiasm in a lazy person's mind will destroy his laziness because he will remember Krishna, Harinam Chintamani. So whenever saintly people visit, like we have Indradumna Swami Maharaj, recently so many senior devotees and Matajis and sannyasis, they often visit our temple. And when we talk to them, when we hear from them, especially the lectures, and when we see them that they chant so many rounds with full clarity and full attentiveness, and we look them very, very happy. Okay, then how do we also become like this? Means this is coming the association of saintly people. So we should never leave devotees at any cost. Always we should hanker to have their association. Association does not mean that simply calling Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Maharaj, how are you? I am fine. So this is only one kind of association that may not much help for our devotional service, but we should ask them the doubts, the various anarthas which we might encounter. So we need to ask them, take their guidance, and follow it. And also respecting them and serving them very nicely and offering them prasadam. And mostly it is a serving by humble mood. Surely we can, attract the saintly person also, and he will give a lot of uh, help and solutions for our Krishna consciousness. So then, why does one become indifferent to chanting the holy names? The word indifferent meaning here, dictionary meaning is not interested or not caring about somebody or something. This is what indifferent. When we apply in our chanting the holy name of the Lord, we are not paying interest or we are not, caring for what we are chanting. So this is actually the greatest impediment or obstacle in getting Namaruchi. So if the desire is to accumulate wealth, then our chanting may not be helpful. And if our desire is to enjoy association of women, name and fame, na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, uh, then we will not have proper interest and we will not be chanting the holy name of the Lord. Or if externally we may be chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, but mind become restless, and because the holy name of the Lord will not tolerate this kind of anarthas welcoming inside the mind. Okay, so if the desire is to cheat others, we will lose the name for, we will lose the ruchi, namaruchi. And if our desire is to seek victory over defeat fills one's heart, that will naturally make one indifferent to chanting the Lord's holy names. Like in our office, we want to, win over somebody materially, and this is not the kind of jivadaya or treating other peoples. So we are meant to associate with others just for the sake of associating, but we should associate with the holy name and saintly people, Gita, Bhagavatam, and Harinam Sankirtan. In this way, we can improve the ruchi for the holy name of the Lord, and not by doing, accumulating wealth, enjoying association of women, my own name to be announced, and I am to be most I am the most important person, that everybody should identify this and they should praise me. This is a puja, labha, pratishta, and this will make us degraded in Krishna consciousness. So we should never chant only for the sake of chanting, but we should chant Tunadapi Sunichena Tarorapi Sahishuna Amanena Manadena Kirtaniya Sada Hari. So we should be humble than grass on the street. Okay, so the meaning of word indifferent is not interested in or not caring about somebody or something. If someone decides to accumulate wealth to enjoy the association of women, name, fame, to cheat others, and to seek victory over defeat fills one's heart, that will naturally make one indifferent. Okay, so why is inattention in chanting the source of all offenses? This question always arises. Why, Prabhu? I am chanting clearly, loudly on, but why inattention in chanting? Why is it called source of all offenses or mother of all offenses? So in Harinam Chintamani, Bhaktivinoda Thakur very nicely says, O reservoir of all transcendental qualities, if one chants the holy name of the Lord, but his attention is elsewhere, how can he benefit? Somebody came to your house uh, and you invited him actually, but when the person comes in and you do not see him and you will be somewhere in another room, or you don't want to pay any attention for such person, then it is a utter disrespect. Similarly, by chanting the holy name of the Lord, when we invite the nama, the holy name of the Lord, but we are not showing any interest in hearing, in chanting, then it is also a kind of disrespect to the holy name of. So if even such a person chants 100,000 holy names of the Lord, still a drop of the mellow of ecstatic love will not be attained. So this is already guaranteed in Harinam Chintamani. O Lord, this is the definition of inattention while chanting the holy names. This offense is deeply rooted in the hearts of materialists. Materialist means those who hanker for name, fame. I want to win over all others. I am the Lord, and everybody should respect. This is the materialistic mentality. So all these uh, factors will make us inattentive toward chanting. That's why we should be very, very attentive in chanting. We should be cautious, we should be conscious, and we should take a lot of care in chanting and hearing the holy name. So if we Srila Prabhupada says, if we continue the chanting, the curing process will go on. Never mind the doubts, and gradually we will get a taste of that sweet nectar of Krishna Nama Sankirtana. That is the process. This was the letter written by Srila Prabhupada to Terry and Associates in San Francisco as a reference 3.22.68. Okay, so Lokanath Swami Maharaj also says only the most intelligent people are entitled to engage in the process of chanting the Mahamantra. So Maharaj visited Sridham Mayapur. There's Rajapur Jagannath Baldev Subhadra. There Maharaj gave a lecture on 7th April 2011. So these are the sum and substance, small gist of chanting the holy name of the Lord attentively, and how we can slowly, gradually, grab the taste in chanting the holy name of the Lord. So I have another 5 minutes lecture of His Grace Radha Prabhu. Also give your kind attention, and Prabhu gives a lot of tips, and you need to remember all this. At the end, I will ask some questions. If you can able to remember some of them, you can share.
When we chant the holy names, it is experience of everyone that the mind throws so many tantrums, runs wild, bothering about so many different things. So oftentimes one who is eager to improve the quality of chanting may get very disturbed or may get very disheartened by seeing the behavior of the mind, which appears to be almost uncontrollable. But if one becomes disturbed or disheartened by this, then our attitude to chanting gets spoiled. And at the end of chanting, one feels great dissatisfaction. Therefore, one should see in this material world, although you would like all the non-devotees to become Krishna's devotees, become nice devotees and follow all the regulative principles and lead a pure life and go back to Godhead, we may have the desire, but we see that most part of the world people don't do that, nor are they eager or serious about spiritual life. So what do we do? No matter how much we preach, there are going to be people who go headlong in the opposite direction. So we should do our service of preaching and giving our best and push off. Whoever is fortunate, Bhagyavan Jeev, they will take up. That's what Prahalad Maharaj did with his father, Hiranyakashipu. When he was given an opportunity by the father to answer what is the best knowledge or what is the best association, all these things Prahalad answered, but he remained detached because ultimately Hiranyakashipu is an individual and he will decide what he wants to do in life for himself. Similarly, within our own system, there are sub-persons below the soul, namely the intelligence, the mind, the senses, and other agents which are impure due to wandering in the material world for many lifetimes. And they raise alternate voices and try to protest against our chanting of the holy name. Just as Prahalad Maharaj treated Hiranyakashipu separately, we have to treat these coverings over the soul separately, and we have to tolerate them. Unless one learns the art of tolerating them and going on with one's own spiritual life, then one cannot progress. You see, Prahalad, his father may throw so many tantrums, he may yell at him, scream at him, shout at him, threaten him, beat him, or even make assassination attempts to kill him. But nothing was of any avail. He could not deter Prahalada's determination even a little bit. So this is a great lesson for us to learn. Our mind may also run wild, may scream, may demand so many material pleasures, but one should not get disturbed or disheartened by it. One should continue chanting. Sometimes the mind tricks us to think, oh, the early days of my Krishna consciousness was so rosy, so sweet, so relishable. Now over the years, am I making progress or am I degrading? But if you very carefully think, you can see Now we are chanting 16 rounds and we cannot give up 16 rounds chanting even for one day, which shows that the commitment is very deep compared to the early day superficial experience. In those days we may chant or not chant, and we were ignorant of all knowledge, what we know now. So that is a very superficial experience, what we had in the early days. But what we have now is a very deep commitment to Guru, Vaishnavas and Krishna. And one should be happy about that. And with a cool head, with a cool mind, one should just go on chanting, no matter what kind of material emotions the mind may be undergoing. So therefore the chanting of the holy name requires some amount of aloofness from both the world around, the environment around, and even aloofness from our own impure mind, which may raise so many adverse voices, creating headache for us. Therefore, those who chant very nicely with the best of their energy they can put in, so they get help to purify the mind. Prabhupada says there will be always two forces pulling. One is Krishna force, one is Maya's force inside our mind. And as we pay our attention to Krishna force more and more, ignoring, neglecting Maya's disturbance, then gradually the Krishna component becomes stronger and stronger, and we become very peacefully situated like Prahalad. And then we will be able to cleanse the mind with that type of spiritual Shakti. Otherwise, if you are going to take every small disturbance of the mind seriously, then we will be made to run from pillar to post and we won't be able to invest in Krishna. So the chanting of the holy name requires investing our time, our energy, our heart in calling the holy name. At least some part of the chanting has to be very attentive and prayerful in order for the holy name to take effect in our system. Harinam Prabhu ki.
Right. So in this way, art of tolerance is very, very important. And the mind might trick. Also, we should develop the attitude or habit of postponing the things. How? When we are chanting the holy name of the Lord, so many things will come to our mind. Maybe at that time, we can postpone the things. The art of tolerance, the art of postponing the different thoughts coming to the mind, we can postpone it. Your mind would say, I have these activities today, or this is my agenda schedule, or tomorrow I may supposed to do something. All these things, we can postpone. And as soon as chanting is over, you can sit, then you can nicely program your day. So just like if you want to write exam very well, it depends on how best you prepared. Similarly, if you want your day to be very blissful, how nicely you chanted early in the morning. And these are the factors which will depend on our whole day blissful. Okay, so I stop here. Thank you very much. Harinam Prabhu ki jai.